In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get the dents out of your two-stroke exhaust pipe. What's up everybody, Greg Hitchko here, and I recently just purchased a two-stroke exhaust repair kit off of eBay, and I will be repairing this massive dent in my CR250 pipe. Now I will be using an air compressor to inflate the pipe, and then I will be throwing some heat on the pipe to extract the dent. Now this is one of the few ways that you can get your dents out of your two-stroke exhaust pipe, and potentially one of the most dangerous, but under the correct safety precautions and procedures, this can be done in a completely harmless way. And then this is the main guy that we're gonna be going after here. But let's go over the tools that you're gonna need to get this job done. So first off is a vise to hold the pipe, safety glasses without a doubt, just in case anything happens. This is a layer of protection over your eyes. You're gonna need a 12 wrench and a 12 socket for the pipe repair kit that I bought off of eBay. So this side here is the smaller side of the pipe. This is gonna go on the tailpipe side of the pipe. And you can see here, it's got the air valve to pump the pipe with air. It also has this rubber piece here that's gonna butt up against the end of the pipe so no air escapes. And then this is the other main part of the contraption here where it's got the air gauge. Very similar design. This is gonna go into the larger side of the pipe coming out of the motor, and again, it has that rubber little gasket so no air leaks out. And what's nice about this kit, having the gauge, is that you can keep an eye on the air pressure the entire time during this process. And the final thing I'll be using today is this MAP gas. So you can use an acetylene torch, but these MAP gas torches are super easy to use and find and are a lot more accessible to the general population. So before we go and install the pipe repair kit onto the pipe itself, what we're going to do is blast out and try to clean out any of the remaining gas that could be in the pipe. You can kind of see how the end of the pipe is still a little wet with gas and oil. I just took this pipe off the Honda about a month ago. I did do this process with an FMF fatty pipe already that came on my 2007 KX250. That pipe had been sitting for about a year, so I didn't go ahead and blast out the pipe with water and trying to clean out any of the gas inside of it, because with the pipe sitting over a year, it would have easily evaporated already. But with this pipe, since it's so fresh off of the bike, it seems still a little wet at that one end of the pipe. I am going to take the pressure washer, blast a bunch of water through it, try to get this pipe cleaned up as much as I can before I go ahead and assemble the pipe kit onto it. All right guys, we got that pipe all sprayed out and cleaned up as best we could. Let's go ahead now and put the pipe fittings on there and then get it set up in the vise. So what I did here is pretty much mounted the whole system on the one end, just kind of loosely, and then I'll go back and tighten everything through. I also lied, these are 11 millimeters and not 12 millimeter bolt heads and nuts. All right, so with this side of things, tightening these nuts here, the more you tighten it, the more it's gonna tighten down on this rubber piece here, and the rubber is what actually stops the air from coming out. So you just wanna make sure there's a nice seal. Once we get everything on here, we're gonna fill the pipe up to 30 PSI and make sure there are no air leaks in it. And once it's kind of loosely set up on there, I would get this piece of the assembly as centered on the pipe as possible, and then you can go and work through and tighten everything down. So both pieces are now assembled on the pipe. I'm gonna go throw this thing in the vise, so I got something to hold it. Just gonna throw it in with a microfiber. You obviously don't need to tighten the vise down too tight to dent the pipe in this area. I'm gonna throw my glasses on. I've also got this respirator that I'm gonna throw on as well when you're kind of heating up the carbon in there and it kind of releases some fumes that probably aren't too good for you. So I'm gonna open up the garage as well and then wear the respirator, make sure I'm super safe. So first step of the process, guys, is that we are going to fill up the valve here to 30 PSI. And basically what we're checking for is to make sure that there are no air leaks in both sides of the pipe. Sounds like there's the slightest air leak on this side, but I'm just gonna tighten down on these screws here so that seals a little bit better, and then we should be good to go. Now it says 30 PSI is a great starting point because as you heat this pipe up, the temperature or the pressure inside the pipe will start to increase. So it's always a good idea to keep your eye on the gauge here. And the instructions also say with this kit specifically, you don't want the pressure inside the pipe to go past 55 PSI. With the FMF pipe that I did get it up to 40 PSI. Probably could have gone up a little bit higher, but if you guys have watched videos and comments on the videos on YouTube, there's a potential that these things can explode. There's one guy on here that filled up his pipe to 150 PSI, which is just insane. But that's what I'm saying. Keep it to a safe internal pressure inside and everything will be fine. So with this dent, I'm gonna take my torch and basically just work around the outside of the dent first. And as you get it red hot, the dent will start to push out. And then as the dent becomes smaller, you can slowly work the torch to the middle. This won't be 100%, but it will be looking way better than this massive dent right now. So enough talking, let's throw some heat on it. So coming back and keeping an eye on this pressure gauge, guys, it looks like it's almost at 50 PSI. It was just at 50. So like I said before, the instructions with this kit said do not exceed 55 PSI. Again, keeping this process as safe as we can. I am going to just let some air out of this pipe here, and I would do it with a screwdriver because the air inside here is gonna be super hot and it could be oily as well. So we're back down to 33 PSI, I would say. So I'm gonna get back to throwing some heat on this thing. To give you guys a little bit of an update, I've been going at this thing for about 30 minutes or so, I would say. So I've probably been averaging around that 35 to 40 PSI. I might try to bump it up to that 50 PSI right now, see if I can get a little bit more pressure in there to knock this out. It's right on the crease, which is a pain in the butt, which is the hardest part of a dent to get out. It's slowly but surely coming, but man, this Pro Circuit pipe is giving me a fight. So kind of give you guys a view of it as we roll around here. Yeah, I mean, it's coming. It's definitely better than it was when it first started, but we still got some work to do. So back to it. That seems to be the key a little bit higher pressure. I've got it at like 52 right now, PSI. And to get that pipe super red glowing hot like you guys just saw, I was able to get a bunch of that bottom lower left dent out, and I'm pretty happy about it. Take some more time with it, get it super hot again, and we're getting there. We're almost there. All right, guys, so I think I am gonna call it at that. Let me get a better look at this pipe. I mean, it definitely popped it out. I would say, I don't know, what would you call that? Like 95% of the way? Like that dent was deep in there and it was huge. I mean, it was pretty much that whole spot there. So I flipped over to the other side here. I mean, here's a better look at it from this angle. I mean, there's still a little bit something right there, but I was on there pretty hard with the heat and I was at about 50 PSI. Maybe I could have gone a little bit higher on the PSI, and it's a lot better than what it was, and it's better than spending $250 on a brand new pipe. But if you guys have any recommendations for me or who have done this, I know there can be a lot of hate comments on these about, oh, you're creating a pipe bomb, blah, 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 but I mean, here it is. The pipe is just cooling down now and it's at 40 PSI now. I did have it at 50, but I don't know. I feel, in my opinion, I feel like this is a pretty safe procedure as long as you're not reckless and you're super safe about it. You know, obviously you're gonna wanna let the pipe cool down now and let the air out of the valve here with a screwdriver. Don't use your fingers because it will burn because the air is super hot in there, but I'm gonna have Luke from MX Refurb completely refurbish this pipe. The thing is gonna be looking brand new, and I absolutely cannot wait for that. So here's the first FMF pipe that I did. I mean, there used to be a pretty, I mean, you're looking at what was a pretty big diagonal dent right across the crease there. And for the most part, it pretty much got it out again. It's on that crease, so it's gonna be a little bit harder to get it out. But I mean, overall, it did make the pipe look a lot better, and I'm pretty pumped the way this two-stroke pipe repair kit worked. All right, so I wanna know what you guys think about this two-stroke pipe repair process using the compressed air and the heat. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous about doing this myself. After reading some comments from other videos that I saw, I feel safe with it. If you guys have any tips or pointers who have done this process, leave a comment below. Let me know your experiences and let me know how I can improve my process going forward. And if you guys have any questions on this process too, leave a comment below, because hopefully I can get them answered for you and let you know a little bit more about how my experience went. If you guys are interested in picking up one of these kits and doing it yourself, I found it on eBay. The link is below in my description. But for me, I'm pretty happy with the process. Saved about 250 bucks on a brand new pipe. Since I was able to fix the FMF, I was able to fix this pro circuit. I've got some small dents in my Kawasaki pipe that I need to fix up as well. So definitely a good purchase on my end. Like I said, not 100%, but it's much, much better. All right guys, but that's a wrap for me in this two-stroke pipe repair video, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.